Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
A Polk County deputy was shot and wounded this morning while apparently riding in a helicopter near Bagley, Minnesota. Thanks for joining us. That deputy was treated and is now out of the hospital. His name has not been released yet. The name of the man who shot the deputy has also not been released, but he is in custody. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson was on the scene and shows us what's known about this incident so far.
Just after 10 a.m., law enforcement officers from around the region raced to the scene of the shooting. This farmstead back behind the trees 7 miles northwest of Bagley, Minnesota. A deputy was apparently shot in the arm while riding as a passenger in a helicopter flying over the property. The helicopter pilot quickly landed in nearby Foston, where the deputy was taken to the hospital. The good news is that the deputy who was wounded during this incident has already been treated and released from the hospital.
Polk County deputy, along with another law enforcement agency, was involved in a situation where a deputy was injured. The deputy received medical treatment and has since been released.
At around 11 a.m., authorities rushed the suspect's farm home, but it was empty. They found the suspect in a nearby outbuilding. The name and condition of the suspect has not been released yet, and it's not known why authorities were apparently flying over his property. Near Bagley, Minnesota, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
And we'll have all the latest information on this case as soon as it's released. An investigation is underway involving North Dakota State University President Dean Bershani regarding apparent communication issues. The State Board of Higher Education released a statement saying they are in the process of gathering information that this new development is serious. Once information is reviewed, the board will consider the next steps. To read the full statement, head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. And another investigation is underway, this one involving an elementary school principal. The Dilworth Glendon Felton School District is looking into a complaint against Principal Shannon Dahlberg. According to court documents, Dahlberg has been charged with 2 counts of felony theft. In a statement released by DGF Schools, Dahlberg is on administrative leave. Tonight on Valley News Live at 6, Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop finds out if these charges have an impact on taxpayer dollars. And now to a story we've been following for you since early Saturday. Witnesses say a car plunged into the Red River near the toll bridge on the north end of the FM area. After searching for hours, investigators called it quits and say they're checking to see if any cars have been reported stolen. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric asks, is there even a car in the water?
It was this area of the river early Saturday that witnesses say a car went right into the water. Today, investigators aren't even sure there's a car here.
At this point in time, I think we've exhausted most resources. I think they've done a large search of a large portion of the river and we're able to find anything.
As you can see, the water is very murky, and this is just inches under the surface. Moorhead police say Valley Water Rescue searched the area for about 8 hours on Saturday, finding nothing. They add it was very early in the morning, but witnesses saw something. There's some evidence, just no car.
One of the things we're going to look for is make sure there's no missing persons reports, people that were maybe suicidal, that kind of thing.
Lieutenant Pennis says they're also going to cross-reference stolen vehicle reports to find out if the witness descriptions match.
Used divers, used boats, sonar equipment, and so forth, and still have not recovered or found a vehicle.
Valley Water Rescue adds the area they searched is only 12 to 14 feet deep, but there's a large amount of debris on the bottom. In Moorhead, Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
If you know anything related to this situation or see something in the area of the river on the north end of the city, you're asked to call police. Fire crews rushed to put out a mobile home blaze in South Fargo over the noon hour. Valley News Live had one of the first news crews on the scene. Smoke billowed from a mobile home that fire crews say had an eviction notice posted on the front door. We're told that trailer had been vacant for about a week. A neighbor 2 doors down tells us she works from home, smelled the smoke, and called 911. As we all know, mobile home fires spread very quickly.
In a mobile home park where the units are quite close together, we try to get there, and if there's an exposure, either trailer on either side, we try to make sure that they're protected also.
The cause of the fire has not been determined, but fire officials say the trailer is likely a complete loss. We have new information tonight on a beloved restaurant and bar that went up in flames in North Fargo last month. Investigators say the fire at the Bison Turf started in an attic space due to a smoldering fire. They believe the fire was likely caused by repair work that was done on the building earlier in the day. Since the fire, the building has been deemed dangerous by the city, and the owner of the Bison Turf, Pete Sabo, has vowed to rebuild. It was a morning of frustration for travelers as Delta Airlines computers were down worldwide. It happened after a power outage in Atlanta. Those flying out early this morning in Fargo had to wait for hours as Delta tried to fix its computers. Some travelers rescheduled their flights with other airlines, while others waited to see when they could take their original flight.
All we've really dealt with is the people at the counters here, and they've been great, and I feel really bad for them because I know that there's going to be a lot of frustration directed their way when they have, nothing they can do about it. But I guess, when everything goes down worldwide, I don't know what you can do about it.
Hundreds of flights have been canceled because of the system failure. The airline waived the fee for those who took a later Delta flight. And decent weather today, nothing to be worried about so far. But let's find out about tonight with Robert Hahn over in the Weather Center. Robert?
Yeah, we've seen a mix of cloud and sunshine and some breezy conditions as we've gone through the day today. Those breezes will be with us as we head through the rest of the evening. Fairly warm out with temperatures ranging from the mid-70s into the lower 80s, 75 in Bemidji, 77 Wadena and Detroit Lakes. It's 81 degrees here in Fargo, also 81 Sisseton, Jamestown, and Langdon. There are those winds at times gusting over 30 miles per hour. Those winds will slowly subside as we head through the late evening hours and into tonight. There it is, the cloud cover and mixing with the sunshine from time to time. And underneath those clouds at this point, not seeing a whole lot, but we're keeping our eyes off towards the west as the Storm Prediction Center has placed the Devil's Lake Basin down towards the James River Basin in a marginal risk for some strong storms. So we'll continue to monitor that as we head through the rest of the evening. Here in Fargo, I think we stay dry with temperatures slowly dropping on off through the upper 70s by the 9 o'clock hour down to around 77 degrees. Tomorrow, a very nice day, but not so nice on your Wednesday. Your details on a potential severe weather day on Wednesday coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Robert. We are approaching a time of year that could be hazardous to your pet's health. As the weather changes, it creates ideal conditions for blue-green algae growth. The North Dakota Game and Fish Department says hunters need to be mindful with their dogs around water because it could make them ill or even kill them. Experts say dogs should not drink or swim in affected water, and if dogs do come into contact with the water, they should be rinsed off right away. For more information, head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. High school hockey programs in West Fargo will soon have a new home of their own. Groundbreaking and construction are underway on a new $19 million hockey area. It will house both the West Fargo and Cheyenne hockey teams. It's being built in an area that is seeing significant development just south of I-94, west of Cheyenne Street. We'll have 2 sheets of ice with possible expansion for a third. But Cheyenne Activities Director Ross Richard says it's much more than a place to play hockey.
Really, baseball, softball, soccer be the ones that seem to have the greatest need when weather is inclement, when their seasons are just starting up, that we could maybe bring those sports and those participants indoors and help them with getting into their seasons.
The facility is scheduled to open a year from now. And if you're short on time and looking for a healthy meal, you will have more options this fall in South Fargo. Another Power Plate Meals is opening at 32nd Avenue South next to Noodles & Company, where Sunseekers is right now. The business already has 1 location in West Fargo, and they are expanding. They hope to be open by late October or November. Power Plate Meals is a company that sells healthy meals in their store. They offer meal plans as well. You're invited to some outdoor fun, family-friendly fun at Thunder Road, and the best part, it's all free. It's happening now through 8 o'clock tonight, and each guest will have access to limitless miniature golf and complimentary tickets, which can be used for go-karts, bumper cars, and laser tag. Also, be sure to bring your appetite because the crew at Thunder Road is serving burgers, hot dogs, dessert, and even more until 7 o'clock.